This is a tutorial on the board in the studio. After you're done, I'm going to show you what each thing does on here, and so you should be able to troubleshoot any problems. So we're going to start at the top, these bank of buttons. There's A and B on this entire set, so each channel has its own set, but we're going to start with A and B. You will keep them on the one that is labeled. So for example, this one's host mic, so you're going to keep that on that selected. Unless it is marked with something else, which actually the only one that is channel 8 on the board, and that's Simian, and that needs to be on B. Besides that, everything else is on channel A. Next, we're going to drop down to the next bank of buttons. There's PGM, which is for program, and that is what goes to over the air. Then there's an AUD button, and that is for audition, and that goes to if you're going to be recording something, then that goes through the audition line. And then there's the TEL, which is the telephone, and that goes to people that are on the phone. And so if ever somebody can hear you, or they can't hear you on the phone, but you can hear them, then your telephone is, for example, is not selected. So if there's ever a power outage, the board will default where only the PGM button is selected. What you will do is turn on every single button on the board except the ones that say leave off. So you will only leave off the microphones, and that's on channel 1, 2, 3, and then also on channel 4 you'd leave the telephone off. If not, that creates really bad feedback, so always leave those off. Then the next button is Q, and that's where you can listen to something without it going over the air. So for example, if you wanted to test the microphones, then you would push Q, and then you could tap on that microphone to make sure that you have audio there. Now the way you control the volume on that is all the way down here. This is the Q control right here. So if you wanted to test a microphone, then make sure that this is turned somewhat up, and then you'll tap on the microphone. This is the main, while we're on here, this is the main monitor control. So to hear your audio, you'll turn that volume up and down. That's how you adjust it. So we're going to turn the Q off, but that is what the Q button is for. It's useful for if you're going to be playing something off of the computer, if you need to test microphones, that type of a thing, then it won't go over the air on that channel. Next is the slide, and that adjusts the volume on that channel. So for example, this is the host mic, and you'll adjust the volume on it. You do not want the volume to be pegging in the red. If it's going in the red like that, then it's too hot. It will distort the audio. So you'll need to take it down, and so that it occasionally, where it's like that, where it doesn't really go too much into the red. And you'll need to check that for your host mics, your like the computer audio, the audio for Simian, which is the automation program. You'll need to always be looking at the levels and make sure that they're high enough, but not too high. To turn the channel on, so even if you have it turned all the way up, if the channel is not on, then it will not go over the air. So you just simply push the yellow button that turns that channel on, and then you adjust the slides to have them go up and down, the volume go up and down. So I'm going to go through now what each channel does. Channel number 1, they're all labeled. So the channel number 1 is the host mic. Then guest mic 1 is number 2, guest mic 2. Then the telephone is number 4. Computer and auxiliary, that is this cable here. So you can plug this cable into your telephone or into your laptop. It can go into your cell phone, anything that you wanted to play audio off of. And that comes in on this channel here, on number 5 on the board. Then the next one that you always leave on and up is Simian. That's the commercials. And then actually we also leave up channels 9, 10, 11, and 12. And the computer will control if those turn on and off.